John Wayne Gacy, born on March 17, 1942, was an American serial killer known for his heinous crimes committed in the Chicago area during the 1970s. Raised in a Roman Catholic family with an abusive father, Gacy experienced a tumultuous early life that included a significant head injury at age 11. After serving time in prison for sexual offenses, he returned to Chicago, where he appeared to lead a dual life, a successful businessman and a respected community member who entertained children as Pogo the Clown. However, beneath this facade, Gacy abducted, sexually assaulted, and murdered more than 30 young men and boys, burying many of their bodies on his property. His criminal activities came to light in late 1978, leading to his arrest and subsequent confession to the murders. Gacy was tried and found guilty of 33 murders in 1980, receiving the death penalty. Executed by lethal injection in 1994, his case has had a lasting impact on popular culture, inspiring numerous books, films, and documentaries, including the 2022 Netflix series, Conversations with a Killer, The John Wayne Gacy Tapes. Gacy's story continues to evoke fascination and horror, reflecting the complexities of his life and crimes. John Wayne Gacy, American serial killer. Born March 17, 1942. Birthplace, Chicago, Illinois. Died May 10, 1994. Place of death, Joliet, Illinois. Major offenses, September 1968, January 1972, December 1978. Locale, Des Plaines and Chicago, Illinois. Sentence, life imprisonment for 20%. 1 victims murdered between January 1972 and June 1977. Death by lethal injection for 12 victims murdered between July 1977 and December 1978. Early life. John Wayne Gacy Jr. was born on St. Patrick's Day, 1942, and was raised Roman Catholic by his parents, John Wayne Gacy Sr. and Marion Gacy. His father, who frequently drank alcohol, was physically and psychologically abusive. At age 11, Gacy was struck on the head with a playground swing, causing periodic blackouts until doctors discovered and treated a blood clot. After dropping out of high school, Gacy drifted to Las Vegas, but eventually returned to Chicago and graduated from business college. At age 22, Gacy married and moved to Waterloo, Iowa, taking a position as manager of a restaurant belonging to his new wife's family. To the shock and dismay of his family, Gacy was arrested in May 1968 for coercing a young employee into homosexual acts. He pleaded guilty to sodomy and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. After serving only 18 months of the sentence, Gacy was released on parole. While incarcerated, Gacy's wife divorced him and left with their 2 children. Gacy returned to the Chicago area and bought a new home in Norwood Park Township. Shortly thereafter, he established his own business called PDM Contracting, Inc. Gacy, now a well-respected businessman, held elaborate parties at his home for neighbors and entertained children as Pogo the Clown. He also held an office in the Democratic Party. Criminal career. Gacy's serial crimes began to surface when he was arrested on February 12, 1971, for disorderly conduct and attempted rape. However, Gacy's accuser, a young male, failed to appear in court, and Gacy's charges were subsequently dismissed. According to Gacy's estimate, his first murder victim was a teenage boy whom he picked up at a bus depot in January 1972. Between January 1972 and December 1978, Gacy killed more than 30 young men. Gacy's primary modus operandi was to troll the streets of Chicago for young boys and prostitutes and bring them to his house, where he would sexually assault, torture, and strangle them. He then buried the corpses around his house. Legal action and outcome: in early December 1978, the DuPont Police Department, investigating the disappearance of Robert Piest, confronted Gacy while executing a search warrant at his home. Gacy denied any knowledge about Piest's disappearance. On December 22, 1978, facing mounting physical evidence against him from subsequent searches at his home, Gacy confessed that he had killed 33 young men and boys and buried most on his property. Police summoned the coroner, and when digging was finished on Gacy's property, 29 bodies were unearthed from the crawl space, the garage floor, and the patio. 5 additional bodies were later recovered from the Des Plaines River. Of the victims recovered between December 1978 and April 1979, 8 remained unidentified. Gacy's trial began on February 6, 1980, in Chicago. Gacy pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. The defense was ultimately unsuccessful when, on March 13th, Gacy was found guilty on all 33 counts of murder. Gacy was executed by lethal injection on May 10, 1994, in the Stateville Correctional Center in Joliet, Illinois. Reopening the case in 2011, Cook County Sheriff Tom Dart made the decision to reopen the cold case pertaining to the 8 unidentified victims of Gacy's murder spree. The hope of solving some of those mysteries revolved around the newer capability of DNA testing that had not existed at the time of the investigation. By November, the team's renewed efforts led to the identification of Gacy's 19th victim, 19-year-old William Bundy. While nameless victims of other unrelated crimes have also been identified, some believed to have been victims have been found alive, and Gacy's DNA has been tested in attempts to link him to other atrocities, possibly committed during years of travel. As of 2015, Bundy remains the sole victim identified in this ongoing process. Impact, dubbed the Killer Clown, John Wayne Gacy lived a double life for years: successful entrepreneur and popular neighbor by day, sexual predator and murderer by night. Gacy's notorious criminal career drew considerable attention. There's been 11 hardback books on me, 31 paperbacks, 2 screenplays, 1 movie, 1 off-Broadway play, 5 songs, and over 5,000 articles, Gacy boasted in one of his last interviews. After his execution in 1994, Gacy's original oil paintings of clowns, made while on death row, were sold at auction to collectors. Some of these paintings were intentionally destroyed in a bonfire attended by hundreds of people, including members of victims' families. In 2011, the Las Vegas Gallery Arts Factory hosted a charity sale of several of Gacy's paintings, priced at thousands of dollars. Author Stephen King reportedly used Gacy as a model for the character of the murderous clown in his novel It. In 2022, Netflix released the limited docuseries Conversations with a Killer, the John Wayne Gacy tapes, which depicts Gacy's murder spree through archival audio footage taken while he was incarcerated and interviews with persons close to the case.